It was snowing. The kind that falls gently but makes the world go quiet, like it's holding its breath. A high-rise office building in New York City still had one dim light glowing on the 47th floor, even though it was Christmas Eve. Inside, a man in an expensive tailored suit sat alone in a massive glass-walled office. His name was Mr. Henry Carter, CEO of a billion-dollar tech company. But tonight, all the wealth in the world couldn't buy him what he truly wanted, someone to share dinner with. Down on the street, the city was alive with warmth. Families huddled together with shopping bags full of gifts, couples laughed arm in arm, and kids played in the snow, their cheeks red with joy. But Henry felt like a ghost watching life happen without him. His success had come at a cost. Late nights, broken relationships, no wife, no children, just contracts, deals, and numbers. He stared at the cold, untouched plate of catered turkey dinner on the table. No appetite. No joy. Just then, a small voice cut through the quiet like a bell. "Do you want to have dinner with us?" He looked up, startled. There, standing in the doorway, was a little girl, maybe 8 or 9 years old, with curly hair and big brown eyes filled with kindness. She was holding a small paper plate with 2 cookies on it. Behind her stood a woman, perhaps her mother, smiling apologetically. "We're just downstairs. The security guard said it was okay to come up. We saw you from the window, you looked lonely," the girl said. Henry blinked. No one had ever dared to walk into his office like that. Not in 20 years. But her words, "You looked lonely," hit him harder than any business failure ever had. He opened his mouth, but no sound came out. The girl tilted her head, waiting. I don't know what to say," Henry finally whispered. "You could say yes," she grinned. For the first time in years, Henry smiled. A real one, not the fake CEO kind he wore for the press. He stood up, picked up his jacket, and followed them down to the small staff break room. Inside, a janitor had spread out a humble but warm Christmas dinner on a folding table, some roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, rice, and a few homemade cookies. There were no fine wines, no gold-plated dishes, no fancy music. Just laughter. Warmth. People. The mother, who worked part-time as a cleaner in the building, introduced herself as Maria. She apologized again, thinking maybe they'd crossed a line. But Henry shook his head. This is the best offer I've had in years." They all sat down together. The little girl, whose name was Sophie, sat next to Henry and told him about her school, her friends, and how they didn't have much money, but her mom always made sure Christmas felt special. As the evening passed, something changed in Henry. Not instantly, not magically, but deeply. He saw what he'd been missing all along. Real connection. Simple kindness. No one at that table wanted anything from him. Not his money, not his position, just his presence. The next day, Christmas morning, Henry did something no one expected. He canceled all meetings for the rest of the week and went to Maria and Sophie's small apartment with breakfast. He brought a tree too, a real one, with lights and ornaments. Sophie's face lit up, and Henry felt something in his chest crack open, like an old frozen pipe starting to run warm again. Weeks passed, and they stayed in touch. Henry started visiting the janitorial team more often, not to inspect, but to sit and talk. He found out their names, their stories, their struggles. And for the first time, he used his wealth to change lives not with cold donations, but with direct action, scholarships, housing assistance, school supplies. But the most important change happened inside him. He no longer spent holidays alone in glass towers. He spent them with Sophie and Maria, who became like the family he never had. One Christmas later, Sophie ran into his arms yelling, "Uncle Henry," and he felt tears in his eyes, not of sadness this time, but of gratitude. All it took was a little girl with a big heart asking one question, do you want to have dinner with us? And that simple act of kindness didn't just feed a lonely man, it brought a lost soul back to life. Because sometimes, the smallest voices carry the biggest miracles.